the dangerous lie that you can control everything. The freedom of letting go. Imagine waking up tomorrow with the power to control everything. Every conversation would go exactly as planned. Every investment would succeed. Every relationship would remain perfect. No illness. No rejection. No unexpected setbacks. At first, it sounds like paradise. But what if trying to control everything is the very thing stealing your peace? Have you ever noticed how exhausted people become when they try to manage every outcome, every opinion, every possibility? They replay conversations, overthink decisions, and worry about events that haven't even happened. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The more we try to control life, the more life seems to control us. Today we'll uncover one of the greatest illusions people believe, that if we plan better, work harder, and worry enough, we can control everything. And we'll discover why true freedom begins the moment we admit we can't. Part 1. The illusion of control. Imagine holding a handful of sand. Hold it gently and most of it stays. Squeeze it tightly and it slips through your fingers. Life works the same way. The harder we try to control every detail, the more frustrated we become when reality refuses to cooperate. We can't control the weather, traffic, the economy, or other people's choices. Yet we spend enormous emotional energy trying. The result isn't security. It's anxiety. Part 2. The airplane passenger. Picture two passengers on the same turbulent flight. One grips the armrests in fear, convinced every bump signals disaster. The other notices the turbulence but accepts that it's beyond his control. He trusts the pilots and focuses on remaining calm. Neither changes the flight. But one arrives exhausted, while the other arrives with peace. Often, the greatest difference isn't our circumstances. It's how we respond to them. Part 3. The lighthouse doesn't chase the storm. A lighthouse stands on a rocky shore. Storms rage. Waves crash. The wind roars. Yet the lighthouse never chases the storm or tries to calm the sea. It simply stands where it was built, offering light to those navigating the darkness. Likewise, not every problem is ours to fix. Some storms are meant to be endured with courage rather than controlled. Part 4. A real-life story. In 1970, the crew of Apollo 13 faced disaster when an oxygen tank exploded in space. They couldn't undo the explosion. They couldn't eliminate the danger. Instead of focusing on what they had lost, they concentrated on what remained within their control. Their decisions, their teamwork, their creativity, their discipline. Against overwhelming odds, they returned safely to Earth. One lesson from their journey still inspires us today. When life becomes overwhelming, focus on the next right action, not on the impossible. Part 5. What Stoicism teaches. The Stoics understood a timeless truth. Epictetus taught that some things belong to us, and many do not. Our attitude? Our choices? Our character? Other people's opinions? The past? The future? Not completely. Much of our suffering comes from trying to control what was never ours to control. When we let go of that illusion, our minds finally begin to breathe. Part 6, where Christianity goes further. Christianity agrees that we cannot control everything, but it offers something beyond self-discipline. The Bible doesn't promise a life without uncertainty. Instead, it invites us to trust the one who sees what we cannot. Think of a child riding in the back seat of a car. The child doesn't know the route or every turn ahead, yet he rests because he trusts the driver. Faith isn't knowing every answer. Faith is trusting God when we don't. Part 7. The garden you cannot force. Imagine planting a garden. You prepare the soil, plant the seed, water faithfully, but you cannot force the seed to grow overnight. You cannot command the rain or the sunshine. Growth happens in its proper season. Our responsibility is faithfulness, not controlling the harvest. Some of life's greatest blessings require patience. Part 8. The cost of control. Control often disguises itself as responsibility. I just want everything to work out. But underneath can hide fear. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of uncertainty. The person who constantly checks every message, predicts every problem, or worries about every possibility rarely finds peace. Control promises security, but often delivers exhaustion. Part 9. What can you actually control? Whenever you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, what is truly within my control today? Your words, your honesty, your work ethic, your kindness, your prayers, your response to disappointment. Then what am I trying to control that doesn't belong to me? Someone else's opinion? An opportunity's timing? Another person's decisions? Learning the difference is one of life's greatest sources of freedom. Part 10. Freedom begins with surrender. Many people think surrender means giving up. In reality, it means letting go of the illusion that you were ever in control of everything. You still work hard. You still prepare. You still pursue your goals. But you stop believing your worth depends on controlling every outcome. You do your best, and leave the rest in God's hands. That isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Closing. Life will always include uncertainty, unexpected losses, unexpected opportunities, unexpected changes. You cannot control every chapter of your story, but you can choose the kind of person you become while living it. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control. Christianity teaches us to trust God with what we cannot. Together they reveal a powerful truth. Peace doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from responding wisely to life and trusting God with the rest. Before you leave, reflect on this question. What burden are you still trying to control that was never meant to be carried alone? Perhaps the greatest freedom in life isn't found in controlling everything, but in having the wisdom to know what you can change, the humility to accept what you cannot, and the faith to trust God with the rest.